So wanted to make this video talking about my favorite isekai because obviously a lot of us out there have our favorite isekais when it comes to Konosuba, when it comes to Sword Art Online, etc. so on. But when it comes to me, I happen to be a really big fan of ReZero. I just love the story, I love the characters, I love the themes that it tackles. I'm just really attached to the series, and that's all thanks to my friend Zypher, which I miss dearly because he was a great friend. And it's because of him that I got into ReZero to begin with. I watched the episodes with him. Me and him watched about a good 2 to 3 episodes a day when we were doing a binge together. He already saw it, but he just was there for my journey with it. And I just want to talk about, everything that I feel about ReZero when it comes to the very first season. And obviously, I'll make a video in the future talking about my thoughts on the second season, third season. You get what I mean, basically. Just expanding on this one video. So if there's any other fans that happen to run across ReZero that happen to really like the series as well, and you guys want to share your favorite moments or what really got you into the series, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below because I would absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say. When I think back to how I first discovered ReZero, it really started with a conversation I had with my friend Zypher, like I told you guys, because he knew that I enjoyed stories about characters being pulled into new worlds, but he also understood that I was looking for something with more emotional weight. And during one of our talks, he brought up ReZero with this quiet confidence, the kind he only uses when he truly believes something is worth watching. And the way that he described it made me very curious, so I finally decided to sit down and watch the first episode with him. And right from the moment Subaru appeared in an unfamiliar place, reacting with confusion and uncertainty, I felt myself pulled in. His reaction felt honest. He wasn't calm, he wasn't prepared, and he certainly wasn't ready for what was about to happen. The world of Lugunica looked bright and inviting at first, but there was a subtle sense of unease underneath it, and that contrast made me want to learn more. Subaru entering this world of no explanation or advantage made everything feel immediate and unpredictable, and I found myself discovering things right alongside him. One of the reasons ReZero drew me in so quickly as well was how naturally Subaru was written. He didn't arrive with any special abilities or confidence. Instead, he tried to make sense of everything that he was struggling with his own uncertainty. His earlier interactions, even the awkward ones, felt genuine because he had no knowledge of the world around him and no one else guiding him. So every situation came with a risk. Watching him figure things out through trial and error made me care about where his journey would lead. But what stood out to me most was how openly the story acknowledged his flaws. Subaru could be impulsive, overly eager, or unsure of himself, and the show never tried to hide those traits. His mistakes felt understandable for someone suddenly placed in a completely unfamiliar world. Those imperfections made his growth feel gradual and believable, and that sincerity in his character is one of the reasons I connected with so strongly. My understanding of the series completely changed once Return by Death appeared. Subaru's first death wasn't treated as a traumatic stunt, it was confusing and frightening, and it made me feel the same disorientation he did. When he returned to a previous point in time, it became clear that this ability was more of a burden than a gift. Each loop was structured carefully, revealing new details rather than simply repeating events, and I found myself paying close attention, trying to understand what Subaru needed to change to move forward. What made this ability so meaningful was the emotional toll it took on him. He carried the memories of every failure and every painful moment, even though no one else knew what he had gone through. That isolation made the ability feel heavy, and watching him push forward despite that burden was one of the things that deepened my appreciation for the show. By the time the season reached its later arcs, Return by Death had become one of the most compelling parts of the story. It didn't just move the plot along, it added depth and gave every decision weight, and this approach changed how I viewed stories in this genre, and it became a major reason ReZero stood out to me. Another aspect I admire about the first season is the way that it handles Subaru's growth. Early on, he makes assumptions, taking things for granted, and tries too hard to prove himself. The story doesn't rush past these moments. Instead, it uses them to show how unprepared he truly is as he faces more loops and more challenges, and the emotional strain becomes a significant part of the narrative. There's a moment where he argues with Amelia, and it stands out because of how honest it feels. It shows how overwhelmed he has become and how much pressure he's been carrying on his own. Scenes like that made his journey feel less like an adventure and more like an attempt to understand himself and the world around him. And the people he meets also play a big role in how he changes. Characters such as Rem, Beatrice, and Puck each influence him in different ways, and their interactions push him to reflect on his choices and how his actions affect others. Even the events surrounding the royal selection highlight how much he still needs to learn. But what stayed with me most about ReZero Season 1 is how sincerely it handles its emotional moments. The difficult scenes weren't just added just for shock value, they reflected the challenges Subaru faced as he tried to navigate situations that often felt far beyond his ability to handle. Some arcs in the season made it clear how much he was struggling, and the show allowed these moments to settle, giving them weight instead of rushing past them. What balanced these scenes were the moments of support that appeared when he needed them most. Amelia's kindness and Rem's dedication offered stability during times when he felt alone. And these moments didn't feel forced, they felt like honest connections that helped him move forward. They reminded me how important compassion can be when someone else is overwhelmed. And the pacing of the season helped these emotional moments land in the right way. Quiet scenes created anticipation, while moments of closure felt meaningful because of the build-up behind them. Even the music added to this atmosphere, shifting subtly to match the tone of each scene, and all of these elements worked together to make the emotional impact stronger. I didn't just watch what Subaru was facing, it felt like the weight of his journey. And these qualities are what made ReZero the isekai that I connected with most. The series approached its story with sincerity, letting hardship, reflection, and the support of others shape Subaru's path. Season 1 showed me how deeply an isekai story can resonate when it takes its characters seriously, and that's why it became my favorite genre. So yeah, that's my adventure with ReZero Season 1. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be making more videos in the future expanding my thoughts on ReZero as we talk about the other seasons. But, just based on like my first impressions of ReZero when it comes to my overall experience of Season 1, I had a great time. I thought I wasn't going to really get into it as much in the beginning, but that changed quickly when I just realized, how deep this series was going to be when it comes to the theme, when it comes to a lot of the serious moments, when it comes to me getting attached to all these different characters like Subaru, like Amelia, like Ram, etc., so on. And that's something I really appreciate, because if you could get my attention that way and actually make me really care about what's happening in the story, then I become a fan of that. I become a fan that really appreciates proper storytelling, and ReZero itself is definitely one of those series. But now I want to hear from you guys. Is there anybody that happened to stumble across this video that happens to be a fan of ReZero? And if you want to give your thoughts on the very first season and want to just express why you love ReZero as well, just like how I did in this video, be sure to let me know down below, because I would absolutely love to hear exactly what you guys have to say. And also, it would be pretty cool to come across other ReZero fans that happen to find this video on YouTube. And if you guys enjoy this video, as always, be sure to show your support and like and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,400 subscribers, so if you can help me get there, that would be super awesome. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media, check out X, my Instagram, my Facebook page, and my TikTok. All the links to those are located in the description below, so be sure to follow me on there. Also, be sure to click on the bell so you guys get notifications whenever I drop a video on the channel. Be sure to check out my Discord server. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, it's out.